Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Lillian for them that don't know me, and to my subscribers, welcome back. Thank you again for watching this video. If you like this kind of content, kindly do remember to subscribe and also hit that notification bell for you to get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you for being here. And for today, I'm going to be tackling the laundry. Oh my God, let me just say, this is one of those chores that just drains me to the core. But after doing it for a while now, because it's taken me a long time before I did my own laundry, now that I've been doing it for like a month or so, I have formulated a plan that is really working. But today, this was the first time I was doing it after such a long time, and I just didn't have a plan. So I had to do it for a whole day. Yes, I repeated, I did it for a whole day. By the time I was drained, completely drained. But it was satisfying to just see those clothes on the line and they're drying. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you for the grace. Anyway, let me just get straight to my story. And today, I'm gonna ask you a question on: have you ever made a decision and you knew this decision is just not right, but anyway, I'm making it and I'm following it all the way, no matter where it takes me, and then you end up realizing what a waste of time, what a waste of other people's time? Because maybe it may be something like a relationship. Have you ever been in a relationship where you know this relationship, I just know it's going nowhere, but let me just say, because it maybe it will change, and then you realize, God, time has just flown and you have wasted your time and you wish you didn't make that decision. Have you ever been there? Because I have been. I have been there. And I'm not going to share this that my experience right now, but maybe some other time. That's a story for another day. So on today's twist, we're going to look at a couple that just, when I heard this story, I was like, what? How now? Okay, let me get into the story. So I had the story of this young couple, and this lady, her name was Linn, and the guy's name was Cody. So Linn got into this relationship with Cody. They met in church. Linn was a church girl, and she believed in the word of God and all that. She was brought up in the church. Cody, on the other hand, was an okay person. Yeah, they were Christians, but he was not really a church person. But he went to church. He was not really into it. But in that, church, those church activities, they met, and Linn was a good influence on Cody, because Cody now was so much into church that even the parents commended Linn for making him go to church oftenly, more than he used to. So for the parents, they said she was a good influence on him. And Cody was just head over heels. He was in love with this girl. And he said to the parents, this is the girl I'm going to marry. But Linn was not feeling the relationship. She was just not ready for it. She was not ready for marriage, and she was not really into the guy. She wasn't, let me just say, she was not in love with the guy. And even the friends noted she was not really into it, but she was just there. They were dating, going out on dates, but there was no that, defining thing that they are really dating, because she was not that into it. So after a year or so, they got married. The guy proposed and Linn said yes. And people were like, what? Is she serious, or she might change her mind? Well, she was. And she didn't change her mind. So the planning started, and the best maid said that during the planning, she was so excited about planning the wedding. She was excited about the wedding. Things to do with that, she was so excited. But when they started talking about the D-Day, the wedding day, she was not excited. She was just off. She didn't want to talk about it. It made her angry, and she was just not into the day itself. So the planning continued anyway, and the day came. During the wedding, the friends and family members, they noted that she was looking on the ground. She was not smiling when she was walking down the aisle. She was looking at the ground. She was not looking at people. She was not looking at the husband to be. She was just not excited. She was not in the day, and it was just off for everybody. And during their vows, I've been into weddings and been a bride also at one time. The officiator, when you're doing your vows, they do insist on you looking at each other's eyes. When you're the bride or the groom, you're like, anyway, we've been doing this all the time, so what's the big deal? But when you get into marriage, now you understand why you had to do it, because you have to keep the promise you made, the vows you made. You have to keep them when you enter marriage, and it is important for your partner to know that you are serious about it when you are making the vows. That's why you look into your partner's eyes and do the vows. So she didn't look at the guy's eyes. She was just making her vows and looking at the ground, and she didn't really mean it. At the end of the wedding, she was all smiley, and if you look at the photos after, you wouldn't know whether there was anything wrong with the wedding, because the photos show of her smiling and having fun, but things were off. So on the wedding night, or rather not the wedding, but the following night, she was just talking to the maid of honor. She texted her and said, I don't know whether I made the right decision. And she was like, what happened? What's wrong? She was just saying, things were going down, and I just feel I didn't make the right decision. So she asked her, were things going down that wedding night or during the wedding? And she was like, the whole thing. She didn't get it, so she wanted more, and she just said, okay, I'll talk to you when I come back from honeymoon. So when she came back from honeymoon, of course, the best maid wanted to know what's up. So when they met, she didn't even say anything. Linn was just crying the whole time, and the maid of honor is just eager to know what is going down. And she didn't say much. She was just crying, and she was just consoling her, as a friend. But she didn't say much. She just said she was not happy. And over the next couple of days, she was just repeating the whole thing. And she mentioned that they didn't even consummate the marriage because she pulled out the card of "I'm on my periods." Yes, the marriage was not consummated. So 8 days later, anyway, there was this night, and they were having an argument. Now, Linn and Cody, they were having this argument. And they decided, let's just go to this park that we go to. Maybe things will fall in place when you go there. They used to go there a lot when they were dating. And they did, okay, they went. And when they went there, they reached this cliff that they used to visit most of the times. And the guy dared the girl. Or rather, Cody said, I can walk on this cliff blindfolded because I've been here so many times. And the girl is like, oh, okay, I'll test you on that. Okay. So she blindfolded Cody. And of course, things didn't go down as he had expected. What happened is, as he was walking, at some point he just turned and the guy fell off. Yes, he fell off the cliff. That was it. Okay, I know you have so many questions. So here is the full story. So when the investigation, when now Linn said went back home, he just told the friends and family that Cody is missing, and the friends and family are like, what do you mean he's missing? Yeah, I came out to the garage and he was just missing. He was gone. What do you mean he's gone? Yeah, I think he went out with his friends out of the state. How now? So the investigation started. Where is Cody? People were just looking for him. The police were involved, and like a couple of days or 2-3 of days later, why am I eating my words? 3 or 4 days later, yes, Linn receives an email and it says, don't bother looking for Cody, he's gone. What? So she shows the friends, this is an email I got from so and so, and it says Cody is gone, we don't need to bother looking for him. The friends are like, what do you mean? Go to the police and tell them you received an email. It's like they were pushing her to go. So she went to the police and told, hey, I received this email and this is what it says. The police were like, something is just not right. So they asked her again, what did you say happened to him? Yeah, I went to the garage and I found he's not there, and he always told me that if his friends come over, he will just go with them. And that's what happened. Now I've received an email of this guy saying he's no more. We shouldn't be looking for him. Okay, fine. So the burial came. Cody was buried, but people were noting how disconnected this Linn was. She was just, during the burial, she was just disconnected. She was on the phone the whole time. It's like nothing happened. She was like, she was not even grieving. Nothing. She had no emotion. And for a moment, they started now, speculating that she could be responsible for his death. And the investigations now deepened. And they wanted to know what really happened to Cody. So, before the burial happened, how they found the body is, when the email was sent, she started saying, oh, I might know where he is. And they said, how? What do you mean? Yeah, there's this national park we used to visit, and they could have been there. So let's just go and look for him. So she gathered a few friends and they drove up the way to that park. So when they went there, the friends wanted to look everywhere. So every corner, they just wanted to look. And she was like, no, it's not there. I know exactly where he could be. Let's just go there. Let's just hurry. I have an intuition of where he is. And she actually led them to where exactly he fell off. And they found the body there. So that's how they found the body, and the burial was done. But after the burial, now the investigations intensified. So they did, an investigation of whether they were together when they entered the national park, or whether he was with his friends. So the CCTVs were, looked at, and they found out that they were together. Linn and Cody were together in that national park. And they followed up the story to a point of having friends who came to pick him up. There were no friends who came to pick up. The email that was found was connected, or rather was traced back to Linn's father's house. So they found out that she was the one who wrote the email. It was none of Cody's friends. And that's how now she was arrested. And of course, she was confronted with the truth, and she started now telling the truth. Now, you remember that night when they went to the park? Yes, that morning she had told Cody, I have a surprise for you. So remember, they hadn't consummated the marriage. So for Cody, he thought it was time to consummate his marriage. So he told the friends, oh, it's gonna happen tonight. And he was so excited, and the friends were like, oh, congratulations. Okay, so he went home. When he got home, they got into an argument. And during the argument, Linn suggested that they should go to the national park for them to cool down and see whether they're gonna solve this argument. And of course, he agreed, and they went. So when they reached that particular cliff, she told Cody that she has a surprise for him, but she needs to blindfold him. So of course he agreed, and he got blindfolded. And then he turned his back towards her and pushed the guy. And that's how he died. Yes, that's how she killed Cody. Out of a frustration, out of making a decision of getting married without her being ready to get married. And I'm like, why didn't you just say no to the proposal from the beginning? You know, those decisions that you make and you're like, what was I thinking? Yes, she was there, but unfortunately, her way of dealing with her decision was not the right way. So she was, tried, and she pleaded guilty to murder, and she was sentenced to 30 years. I know 30 years is nothing compared to a life that she took. But anyway, that's what it costed somebody's life. And I'm going to connect this story with the story of Judas. You remember Judas who betrayed Jesus? Yes, in the book of Matthew 27, this guy made a decision to betray Jesus after being with him for so long. But he made a decision because of money that he can betray Jesus. Well, it was prophesied that this would happen. Unfortunately, it costed his life. He never, repented or anything, turned his way. He unfortunately lost his life. And this is the story in the book of Matthew 27. I'm just going to read it pretty quick. From verse 1 to verse 10. Early in the morning, all the chief priests and the elders of the people came to the decision to put Jesus to death. They bound him, led him away, and handed him over to Pilate, the governor. When Judas, who had betrayed him, saw that Jesus was condemned, he was seized with remorse and returned the 30 silver coins to the chief priests and the elders. I have sinned, he said, for I have betrayed innocent blood. What is that to us? They replied. That's your responsibility. So Judas threw the money into the temple and left. Then he went away and hanged himself. Did you hear that? He hanged it out of a decision that he made. He hanged himself. He lost his life. The chief priests picked up the coins and said, it is against the law to put this into the treasury, since it is blood money. So they decided to use the money to buy the potter's field as a burial place for foreigners. That is why it has been called the field of blood to this day. Then what was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet was fulfilled. See that? It was prophesied. This is what he had prophesied. They took the 30 silver coins, the price set on him by the people of Israel, and they used them to buy the potter's field as the Lord commanded me. So it was prophesied that it was going to happen. What is my point? Those decisions that we make, knowing very well at the back of your mind, you have something that just says, stop, linear, stop, just stop, please just stop. Don't go any further. And we keep going and thinking, it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. You suppress that, no, stop. Before you know it, you have gone too far. And coming back is gonna take you even longer. Those decisions, we must be very careful. May God help us. May God really help us to make the right decisions. And for that, I would want to say thank you for watching this video. There's a part 2 of this video. Yes, part 2 of this laundry video. Yes, it took me a whole day, guys. So on my next video, I'm going to continue with this lounge and I'm going to show you the achievement I made this day. It was so satisfying. Thank you again for watching. Until next time.